me to choke him out, then who am I to deny the will of God?
There you go. There you go.
Some people like to be treading on. Some people. Some people are tops. Some people like to be tread on.
No, I don't like
I
it.
stole that
I
from
don't
chat,
want
by
it.
the way.
No, I don't like it. Jesus.
That's why we should give yourself to the good Lord.
Let's say you
Give yourself to Allah.
You know, you and your mom.
Subhanallah.
One of you has to be tread on. You know, so you will choose yourself. You will
It's gonna be
sacrifice.
Matt. I choose Matt.
I also choose Matt.
Matt, you're strong enough to be treaded on for all of us.
We believe in you.
That is true. I have survived worse, that's for sure. But what were you gonna say, Morpheus?
I wasn't going to say that.
Everyone's gonna be treading on me. All right, I know that.
Yeah, tread on me, daddy, government.
So this isn't another episode of Tape Eaters once again, brought to you by the Skinwalker gang. Tonight we got Matt here, as you know.
Hello, everybody.
Dude, his mic is still fucked up. I apologize for his terrible fucking stream etiquette. Jesus fucking Christ, Matt. Flame is here.
Greetings.
We got Pangus.
What's up?
Morpheus.
Doesn't better now. Doesn't better now.
Greetings, sire. The desert awaits you.
And Black Baron. Did I miss anybody? Baron, what up, dude?
You missed
Black
me.
Baron.
You missed me.
Baron, show me some CBD right now.
Oh yeah, bro. If you're a complete not a schizo, you would like. Oh god damn it! If you want some of the best CBD products out there.
He's eating the CBD cookies right now. Well, he can't fucking keep his mouth off them.
The Gangstalkers injected this into my chicken sandwich.
I want Angus to come and burn down my village and shoot a bunch of fucking arrows into my people.
Whoa, that sounds pretty.
Hey, Pangus, what's your heritage?
My dad's side of the family comes from the Mecklenburg region of Germany. My mom's side, it's a great fucking question. Pretty sure we're Welsh.
You're straight up Chinese. And if Genghis Khan didn't take over the whole world, you wouldn't even exist.
Probably. He's my great grandpa.
He was pretty great.
You literally, nigga, you literally look like you could take over my fucking town. Right now.
Just my penis.
And I love it.
The name.
I love it. It's great. No penises. I'm talking about arrows.
No penis.
My wiener's not that long. It's maybe crossbow bolt size, not really a bow size, like it for an arrow.
This dude's over here being humble. We all seen it.
But that crossbow does more armor penning than the fucking bow, though.
Yeah, you can't call me humble when I'm being honest, because y'all have seen it.
I've seen it.
You gotta zoom in on it.
Yeah.
Zoom in on dicks.
The key is you lose a little weight and it looks much bigger. That's what I'm going for right now.
Yeah, but I'm trying not to be out here oppressing women.
Base.
That's true.
You know how it is. Yeah.
Just heard some chaos outside my house. I'm wondering if it's Gangstalkers. I think it's probably the wind knocking over.
Very
the
clearly Gangstalkers. They want you to invest in CBDX.com.
Dude, last night,
instead of going to that disgusting gas station where you could easily get killed.
Well, you're in California. Fuck you.
Here's the dream. Here's the dream. That I go to the gas station. This is the fantasy in my mind. I go to the gas station and some shady looking motherfucker is standing by the corner, away from the light, as I'm walking in. He's like, "Yo, you want some of this, the real stuff?" Before I go in and get my fake weed from the gas station guy.
I wish, dude, but no one has the balls anymore. The only place where people have the balls like that is in Las Vegas. But like at that point, like you have so many dispensaries. Like, what's the point of you doing that? It's almost as if like they like the normal black market dealer is like he's fiending for the customers at this point because the dispensaries have taken everything from him.
No doubt.
Never buy no weed from the gas station, bro.
Like
There's
night,
a time when I used to worry about running out of shit to smoke. Thanks to the old gas station, those days are long behind me.
last night I was like hanging out here, and I was getting really fucking skeptical because I heard the fucking ambulance outside for about 2 hours last night. Like,
Gangstalkers.
Well, it turned out they were like trying to pick up my 92-year-old neighbor, and I was just fucking scared, man. I was scared. Scary.
Why didn't you go out and save it? Why didn't you go out and save him, Matt?
Because I'm fucking paranoid, man. Have you
Dude, you're like 6 foot. Like,
Stop being such a coward. You're built like a truck, dude.
Have you guys seen what the fucking people have wrote about me in the last 2 months? You don't not know why I'm fucking paranoid?
Yeah, that's why you saved the old man and saved your reputation.
Brother.
I know the old man across the street to the left. Like, I would save his ass, but not these people. Ugh, I'm scared.
Why not these people?
What do you mean?
No, there's
What do you
no
mean
utterly.
these people?
There's no.
What do you mean these people?
Other than the guy that's 2 houses down from the right, there are no elderly people or anybody that actually has any kind of fucking health problems on my street. And I'm paranoid.
You live on a street. That's way too suburban.
I know my fucking neighbors, motherfucker.
Disgusting.
Yeah, whatever. Baron,
you guys-
why don't you go eat some more fucking oatmeal, faggot?
You guys know there's reports.
Oh,
You're
God
such an
damn it.
asshole. Matt, you fucking go to fucking timeout. Jesus Christ. So yeah, you guys know that Chris Chan's mom apparently got into a fucking car accident with a fucking semi.
What?
No way.
That's from a
Is she
letter.
okay?
I
Is
mean,
she okay?
according to Chris Chan, there is serious damage, but she's not dead. I think she's at home. Chris Chan's trying to get her donations, and we haven't confirmed that it's even like real. You gotta assume it's real. But at the same time, Chris Chan's mom gets obliterated by a fucking semi. Like, dude, I don't know. It should be game over, right? Hey, Ashley survived it.
Probably is just like mild. Like it probably just like a little tap. No, probably didn't actually happen on the. She spiraled out of control. She like hit the fucking guardrail and went over the bridge.
Oh God, I can't imagine.
He plays a replay like Burnout 3.
It seems to just like give more credence to the fact that maybe she is mentally not all there. That maybe she is what's the word I'm looking for? Dementia. She has dementia.
When you're molested as a child, that's a fucking ritual, you know? And when this ritual is done, either you choose the path of becoming a tranny or the path of becoming Matt, becoming paranoid, you know, becoming someone who's muscular and paranoid, you know, and a good fella
muscular,
you know. So it's a test, you know. It's a test.
Are you telling me that Chris Chan?
Yeah, but like, where's that coming from? Like, that's very random.
I don't know. I just saw it somewhere else in 4chan, but yeah, he's definitely molested. He cannot be this way without being molested.
I don't know. Like, he seems so sheltered. I don't know anybody that would get a chance to molest him.
You know Matthew McConaughey?
The actor?
Matthew McConaughey? He is molested. He is molested. That guy...
Do you have sources on that, or are you just stating that?
No, that's a shoot, bro. It was in his book.
No.
Okay.
It is in his book Greenlight. So he became, you know, bloomerin and white pilled. But yeah, Chris Chan took the black pill off, you know, the test, the ritual.
Well, Chris Chan, I see latent mental issues, obviously, but then also being given all the wrong stimuli until he was goddamn 30 years old.
Yeah, I don't believe he was molested. I believe it was.
I
what
wouldn't
Yakov
totally
said.
write it off, but it seems I try to do like Occam's razor with this sort of thing, and when you can add, you can make sense of it. So few things, why add things? But you might.
It doesn't
be right.
have to be immediate.
I guarantee you, he would have said something about it if he was. He would have like.
Let me just put it this way. What?
Oh wow!
Let's look at it like this.
Oh, okay.
We know he raped his mom.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we seen kids who are molested go on to rape their parents?
Well, molestation.
I have no
Maybe
idea.
it did happen.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
You know what? Yeah,
Okay,
it is kind of sus.
Just tell me, how the fuck could someone, put some statistic of how much molested kids raped their moms? Just very specific, you cannot really count it.
It's very specific, which means
all
we would
sexual abuse.
We reasonably would have heard about it before.
He literally had, but the thing is, to make this happen, he literally had to convince himself that his life was an anime. Like he is so far gone, like he didn't even see her as his mother because he is God.
He murdered God.
I think that
he didn't
came
murder
after.
No, he's not God, obviously.
I think that arc came after he went to prison.
No.
Maybe his mom helped his dad molest him, so he, revenge.
What I can say is that after his, I hate to just rehash the same shit, but the Chris Chan stuff's so interesting. But I can say that after his dad died, Barb insisted upon him sleeping with her and spooning her. So in a way, that is molestation. It's not like the graphic rape kind, but it's quite disturbing, and it will definitely send the wrong message to someone who isn't emotionally mature enough to handle that sort of thing.
It's not
nobody's fucking emotionally mature enough to handle sleeping with their fucking mom once they're past the age of fucking 3? I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
you have to be possessed. He was open to any fucking entity, to demon, to possess him, and yeah. I guess he didn't rape his mom just physically, maybe spiritually, Well,
he literally calls it soul bonding.
Yeah.
When he refers to raping his mom in the letters from prison, he says that he definitely soul bonded with her, and that didn't necessarily mean sex. And the necessarily is what throws the whole fucking thing off.
What was the thing that he used to call finding his love thing?
Oh, his love quest?
His love quest. Yeah, the one thing before you kick
it's over.
The server.
Karl Marx. I have a theory. Maybe Karl Marx maybe raped his mom because they look the fucking same. Both of them. Stan and Karl Marx. Both of them stinky. Both of them fucking fat. Both of them
liking
communist.
Pikachu. They like
both of them Koshi-less.
Karl Marx did not. No.
Karl Marx was a Sailor Moon fan.
I imagine if Pokemon and Sonic existed back then, Karl Marx probably would have never wrote that manifesto.
Hell no.
The history would have been changed.
He would have made a ROM hack about Pokemon.
Professor J says, we can't be sure that that's what he meant by soul bonding. He's severely delusional, and he did mean it wasn't necessarily sexual. What makes you so sure Barb wasn't the one instigating the sexual activity since right after his father died? And now, I think the things you're saying are valid. I don't think... First of all, I do think he had sex with her, and he said as much. He admitted it while being recorded with Bella. And we can wonder if there was any duress happening, if there was anything but behind the scenes, and maybe there was, but I do think he had sex with his mom. And whether she was instigating it or not at first, I don't think that clears anybody. Everyone's still raping each other as far as I can tell.
All things fucked.
Maybe he was just figurative and symbolic. Maybe he didn't rape her.
He said he said that he had sex with her. It was what he said in the recording. And he said that at first she was confused, but then she came around.
That's
Do you think he has a
more
bar
fucking
body pillow?
weird.
Oh,
I think
I
you'd-
guess the house was, maybe the house is fucking possessed. The whole thing is fucking possessed. Maybe
What-
they
what-
were
He
burned
doing
it down
all
once,
over
and
and
then they
again and
rebuilt
again
it.
and again and again.
Dude, you said she came around? What?
Yeah, she loved it. She
Oh,
loved the
that's what I mean.
small,
A
the
normal
small
person-
Buddhist Chen.
A normal person can't interpret that as anything other than rape.
That's That's gross. No.
Yeah, it's fucked up, dude.
Mom, I got you Sonic. Come over. Ah, Lord. Come see my
I
Sonic.
got you
Ah!
the Nintendo Switch. Let's play some Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Oh no!
Oh,
Then-
no, Lord.
Red
Oh,
Sea
no.
says Chris is a coomer and Barb is a dried up husk. It's pretty clear cut who raped who. And I think that's essentially
Yeah.
true at this stage in the game. And while Chris's life and his influences and where all this shit came from is far more complex than that, I agree. I think it's pretty cut and dry now.
Am I gonna offend people saying that while I
Yes.
normally any person that rapes their senile mom, I think should get the immediate death sentence. But like,
No, torture. No, death is fucking freedom. It's a relief.
Well,
you know?
this is when what Professor J is
This is
coming
why
into
I
play
like
here.
Muslims.
Like this is why you need like a trial and like discovery and all of that shit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, what if his mom was like consenting to? Does that make you want to torture him more? I'm not saying you shouldn't feel that way, but I think it might change the question a little bit.
The torture
I'm
should be beneficial to the people, just like making
I
him build a
am of
fucking
the
house.
persuasion that it's just easier to like put it out of its fucking misery.
Well, I think Chris Chan only
No need to add more suffering to the world.
Put it this way. Chris Chan is happier in jail. He's happier than he's ever been since high school. So what the fuck is left of his future? It requires institutionalization. He would probably only get that a minority of whatever the rest of his life is, and the other part of it is on the streets, right? Or does he go back home and rape Barb?
I'd rather have other people fucking solve this mystery for me.
No, but there is no solution, not in today's society. Now with the funding we have, like we how many videos of fucking Ashley you got to watch before you realize that these people aren't getting the help they need?
If I was in power, I would just make him collect, cotton. That's it. Just like a Jim Crow blackie, in times of segregation. That's it. His form, he's kind of looking, tall. He's capable of collecting cotton. That's beneficial to the people, and that's
He'll
torturing
whine and
him.
complain.
That's the sad part
he'll
about
be
all
like-
this is
It's gonna be forced. It's gonna
Chris
be forced.
could have lived with his mom until she died and worked as a bagger at the fucking grocery store, and that would have been essentially paradise for him. Not that he would realize that, but he was capable enough to do that. Not anymore.
No, but he
there's
can't
a-
do that because people insert themselves in his life. Do you really think a bagger would not like freak out if there was all these trolls fucking with him?
The thing is,
Like, yeah.
this is why Chris's internet capabilities and privileges should have been cut off when he was in high school.
Cut the internet down.
That should have happened when he
Cut
was
it
in high
down.
school, and you would have fucking avoided a lot of this because all you had to do was stop feeding the trolls. And easier said than done when you're fucking Chris Chan, but
Maybe
Yeah,
his mom was
it almost did
responsible.
happen. Like there
Maybe.
if anybody did watch the Geno Samuels documentary, there was a time where there was no internet for him, and he resumed living a normal life. And then that fucked up when he got back online.
and we're gonna go into gang stalking further here.
the-
This is like the most grassroots gang stalking and
Yeah.
fish in a bucket shit. Fish in a bucket. Like I don't
Yeah.
condone people fucking trolling people with disabilities like this, but at the same time, if somebody is like, I'm gonna watch with my popcorn ready. Like, can't really help myself there.
If Chris Chan killed himself, the
There
samurai
are other
would
such
be-
things.
would be very, very, very upset that he wasn't really grateful for his body, although it is fucking distorted. So the reincarnation would be fucking worse. Would make him, born into maybe a slave in the medieval era, maybe. So he could be, He could be.
I don't know.
And again and again and again.
That's
There's a proverb. There's a proverb in Arabic. It says, "Do not buy the slave, and you don't have the stick for him." You know, you have to set to set some rewards when he's doing something. You know, not the reward, something that is essential. Let's say food. You know, if you don't collect this cotton, you're not gonna get food.
Yes, all of his rewards in his life were super immediate stimuli that he got for nothing. It was jerking off to cartoon ladies. It was eating fucking Whoppers from Burger King. It was shit like that. It was getting all of those things from exactly the wrong source. The extreme of it in humanity. This is the extreme of it. I don't think it is the average American. I would like to give the average American slightly more credit than Christian.
Well, the average American has to have a job. The average American does not have autism. So like there's certain things that he was pandered in his life.
No. I'm sorry, Flame. I'm gonna stop you there because you're saying the average American does not have autism in the modern definition. But Americans are really autistic. I
think everybody's fucked up mentally, and I think the system we're in goes out of its way to make sure everybody is fucked up mentally somehow.
But autism. There's two types. Neurodivergent, neurotypical with high IQ and low IQ. So artists, with low IQ, they tend to be kind of stupid and doing hands, shaking hands. You know the meme. The woman shaking hands,
Oh,
autism.
yeah. The happy
And there's
hands.
the other type of autism, which is being creative, being, listening, Asperger stuff, observing, noticing some patterns and some dots that not anyone could notice. Yeah, it's good and bad.
Yeah, but you can see just even those there's things that should be positive, you can see Chris Chan distorting them into his own terrible vision and creating his whole universe and whole religion out of it. Oh, it really is.
I've read 2 books on the fucking autisms. I know exactly what you're saying. Sorry.
That is his escape. That's his coping mechanism that he has to fall back to.
Chris Chan is a different level of autistic than we've fucking encountered. I'll say
that is definitely true. But the thing is from a psychological standpoint, you can pick apart. You could pick them apart, bit by bit. He has. Everything he does is a coping mechanism because subconsciously there is the truth and he is constantly running away from that truth. He's always trying to cope in one way, as in his fantasy world. He needs to create that as an escape because he understands that this world that he's not satisfied with this world. And that kind of goes to this idea of the reason why we have all these tech giants and all the metaverses and stuff like this is that the people who are creating the future right now are suffering from the same thing because they're unsatisfied with the world, so they're making the metaverse, they're making all this gay shit.
Escapism.
Yeah, it's constant escapism.
Well, I mean, it's further and further being weaponized against us. And the people who created these things, I think they're well aware of the effects. Not to say that they haven't felt some of them, but Steve Jobs was adamant that his kids not use iPads and shit like that. The show's an intelligence there. And all of these things are being perfected as weapons in order to drive us insane, to make us escape further into fantasy worlds, to induce shit like autism, to make you fucking schizophrenic and paranoid and all of that. That's what the media is for, and they realize that TV and shit, all this shit is dead. It's dead, and then you can see YouTube does their rewind or whatever. The awards they're doing this year, they're trying to ape that TV feel, but that shit is dead. You have to be able to flick through that shit endlessly. You have to look at that screen forever, and yeah, man.
Well, video games are probably the most interactive medium of that. Because I do catch myself I'm playing this fucking. Right now I'm playing Halo. Halo is fucking fun. But at the same time it's just I could be doing a whole lot of other shit. And I'm just either escaping from an issue that I may have or my chore that I have to do. or something like that.
Here comes the theory of maybe his mom and his dad were practicing some shit on him. That's why he was
No,
escaping, and
they were
he was
super
really
fucking normies.
Way
They
too
were,
stupid for that.
yeah, they were so stupid.
You
And
can't know. You
so
can't.
normy.
Maybe they are.
Like
Maybe they are making this
they
picture
had
to you to think
they
this
had
way.
Chris
Maybe.
they had Chris Chan at such an old age. They had no idea. There was no way of preparing them. Like they would have to take like a week-long seminar of what the internet is and what the repercussions of the internet for like these are straight up boomer parents that had their son in the beginning of the technological age.
When nobody even realized what was going on with him or believed him about the trolling until he was like 30 years old. It had been going on for like 10 years already. And nobody believed him in his real life. It's just...
that's so fucking funny. He goes to the people in the church.
Yeah.
The people in the church, like...
The first church kicked him out. They saw his online antics and kicked him out. They trolled the shit out of him. He wasn't allowed in the congregation anymore. They had to go to a new church.
Oh, man.
All right, let's go back into some more theorizing. Professor J says, one might even go as far as to hypothesize that Christian, being as completely out of touch, psychotic as he is less able to consent than even perhaps Barb, if she isn't that senile. My issue with that is not a philosophical one, and I don't know, it's possible that you could be right on some philosophical level. The legal perspective, I think, is what kills that whole thing. That's almost like an insanity plea. It's going in that sort of direction mentally. But the reason that he's not getting an insanity plea, without a fucking doubt, is because he is actively trying to cover up his crimes, and not even necessarily the rape. And I do think there is some active cover up going on there that you could argue, but he took money out of his mother's account and put it in his own after he was evicted from his house before they arrested him.
I don't think he knew anything was wrong with that. I don't think he knows.
Doesn't matter. Your awareness of the... Because once he learned, then in all his letters, he fucking dances around that subject. He tries to fucking downplay it. And that awareness of right and wrong is what decides the insanity play.
Yeah,
From what I've heard. I'm not a fucking lawyer. I just read a lot of Christian shit.
But that's the thing with the people with autism. They're like that. Like they have a hard time with personal accountability.
Yeah, they do.
Not sure that matters at this point. It should have mattered. That should have mattered when he was 27.
And I hate to say this, but like, you see that when the law is applied to women as well, women have a hard time with personal accountability.
Well, I have been somebody who's been in both those camps, and no, like autistic women, especially autistic women, have no fucking accountability in their fucking bones. Like they will just do whatever and be like, "Well, I didn't know." Like
they'll explain it away. Yeah, they'll explain it away, like some whim or something like that.
Like, oh, okay, I didn't mean to steal this fake fucking chips.
Matt, because this thing of accounting, being just responsible and stuff.
Yes,
because
sir.
it touches their ego. They don't want to say,
yeah, it is a threat.
I am wrong. I am wrong. Just like I committed a sin, and you say I am a sinner. I've done this wrong, and you just apologize. They don't. They just try to move around and say, oh, I'm just schizophrenic. I'm autistic. Please excuse me. No, you should have. You don't have to excuse. You don't have to bring any excuses. You just have to say sorry. But they don't. It's touching their ego. They don't want to admit that they were wrong and they committed a sin.
Autism to women is natural. It's just really natural, honestly.
Professor J says, either way, his parents are horrible for letting him become the way he is over the course of his whole life without doing something about it. And as you said in so many words, coddling him. Neither Barb or his father can be let off the hook for the way they allow him to develop into the amusing monster he is. And I do think the parenting issue is number one. I think number two is local authorities. And I don't know that I mean police here. To be honest, there was probably grounds for police to get involved, but nobody fucking recognized it except Chris, who couldn't fucking explain it or some shit like that. But there are people like there was someone in his church, Rocky, who was part of the lore, who was trying to help him, but she just had no grasp on the fucking subject. And it's people like her who just aren't prepared for it.
It's like I said, like this is like at the forefront. Like Christian was a pioneer in many aspects, and he was a pioneer in being cyberbullied. So, like, he was one of the first cyberbullied victims.
Yeah, he's projecting his past. You know, just like the cycle of the bullied becomes the bully. But you know, the thing with you know, the critical thinking questions, you know, how and why. The why is fucking endless, you know. So let's take Christian. Why he is like that? Oh, we're gonna put it on his parents. But why his parents they didn't raise him well, because they weren't raised to raise someone with such conditions, you know. So it's just endless. It's, you know, all of them are victims. Everyone.
No, autistic people have existed all throughout time. It's there's a glaring issue. It's the internet.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is technology exacerbating it. The parents who wouldn't have understood in the first place, and then the kid has endless access to the internet because it's just easier. It's just easier to stick him in his fucking room, let him do whatever weird jerking off shit he wants, and we'll be out here doing anything else. Nothing, really. Just stay the fuck away from us. Stay in your room. All right, that's basically what happened.
That's an easy thing to say.
It's even in American culture, you know, in non-Western culture, parents are very fucking close to their children. You know, they even know what the fuck they wear on their underwear, you know, even if they are 16 or 18, you know.
My mom knows I wear boxers. Someone's
you
got
know,
to buy it for me.
You know, I'm not a Westerner, and sometimes I go to the fucking bath. You know, I take a shower, and sometimes I forget my you know, my underwear, and mom comes to me with my fucking underwear.
Do you have to go to a place to take a bath? Like, do you have bathhouses?
Yeah, we have some traditional bathhouses, but I take showers on my.
Do gay shit be happening up in there, dude? I just wanted.
There's segregation between women and men.
They're not American. There's no gay shit.
Look, no, dude, if I have to shower, I'm definitely doing with a bunch of dudes. Okay.
Dude, if I had to shower, I'll try to peek in the
Same
window.
thing.
Look, that's how it was at the gathering. That's how it will always
we have a thing. We have a thing called. You know, we have a thing called kiss. It is something that is kind of rough. You rub your own skin with. It is taking everything out of you. You know, you become whiter. You know, and actually we're praising, you know, white skin here. So yeah, if you're dark, you're gonna be called, you know, the N-word, even if you are looking Indian. So yeah. The thing with parents is just, you know, in America, self, you know, sufficiency and self, you know, independence is preached among teenagers. You know, here lots of fellows are in their 20s and living with their parents. You know, happily.
Gang.
I am in my 20s. And I'm living with my parents, and it's fine. And I'm still studying, and I don't have any goddamn monthly, you know. I don't have any salary,
of it, dude.
And it's fine, you know.
But are you allowed to bring biddies over? No biddies. That's the only rule.
Haram.
Haram.
I'm staying virgin. I'm staying virgin till I meet, you know, the chosen wife that is going to be chosen by my mom.
Honestly, like, I've had a lot of people talk shit to me about this, but like, I've been living on my parents' property since I was like 27, and like, I love being able to just like go and fucking help my parents do whatever the fuck they want. Like, get mad, fucking libtards.
Yeah, it was, you know, the promotion of you know, the separation and the independence of teenagers wasn't for the purpose of independence. It was for the killing the bond between teenagers and their parents. To be honest, it was dismantling the family.
Well,
that's why they invented Grand Theft Auto and Eminem.
Yeah, I was about to say there always has been like a schism between like the parents, because like that especially around like the 80s and 90s.
In America.
Was in America specifically, we had the helicopter parenting phenomenon that came to be, and stricter parenting.
Helicopter.
Yeah, and like
Helicopter.
this bred like an environment of children like rebelling against their parents because their parents were always on top of their asses all the time. Like, well, I'll be honest. Like, I'm one of those kids. Like, I did fucked up
I
shit.
was bad as fuck, dude.
Yeah, I was bad as fuck. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, my mom, like, she grew up like traditional Catholic. You know, like going to church. Like, I went to Catholic school, all this bullshit, and fucking. Best education, like silver spoon in my mouth and everything, and fucking I threw all that shit away, and I was doing like bad shit.
The day that I fucking moved out of my house, I was 18 years old. It was literally my fucking birthday. I did the fucking bit, but it wasn't worth it. It's fucking.
And then they were like, "Oh, bye, Matt. Have a good time."
Bye, Matt. Yeah, I moved in with the girl that made me think I had a kid. It was great. Wonderful.
Damn, dude.
You know, even in old American culture, it is not American culture. You know, you can find big farms and houses with very big families. You know,
The nuclear
cousins of big families living under one roof. It's just a modern thing.
You know, that's actually what my family used to be like. That's actually
out,
like
though.
no, hold on, Flame. That's actually what my family used to be like. Like, my family used to be, like, very big. Like, especially during the Christmas times. There would be, like, 20 of us in a fucking room at the same time. But nobody wanted to continue it. It's just dead.
Well, Matt, you gotta start calling up your family. Shit, I gotta do something about that too. Hey, you know, the shitty thing is when everybody moves out of state. That's when shit starts getting fucked up.
Everyone still lives in my area.
That does seem to be what's normal in America, is to like go away from your family. And I don't think that's what you're supposed to do. But I don't have any family near me except my closest relatives. And it's like, now the society we're in, it's like I don't even want to fucking be here because this place fucking sucks.
You're talking about the city?
I know.
Like, is that what
I'm talking fucking East Coast here. I'm in the Northeast. Everybody knows where I'm at.
Ah, dude, dude, don't fall into that like East Coast is whack shit.
No,
dude,
it is pretty whack. It is pretty fucking whack. It's nice exactly where I'm at,
but it's your place.
It is truly pretty fucking whack, dude.
There's
no doubt about it.
All right, you know, like, but that's the thing. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, the East Coast is whack. I'm gonna go to California." Some fucking retard ass shit like that.
No, you want to go in the middle of nowhere. I want to go where there are no people.
Okay.
No, Flame. No, like Yakov. That's your place, right?
I don't identify as such. A lot of people say that like they're willing to stay in the place they're in no matter how shitty it is and fight for it. I don't feel so much that way. I feel like if I could be more comfortable in Thailand, I'm in fucking Thailand.
Yeah,
I don't fucking give
shut
a shit,
the fuck
dude.
up.
I don't
shut
give a
the
shit
fuck
about
up.
It's all lost, dude. This country's fucking lost. There's places you can run away and still have a good family for a fucking few generations, but it's coming for you. It's fucking coming for you.
Yeah, he's right.
20 years from now, I'm going to visit you on Christmas, and you're going to be doing the fucking bit, and I'm going to say, hey, I was right, Yakov. Fuck you.
I don't know, man, because everywhere else I go, I feel it like it's a lot fucking nicer. And I'm talking about fucking laws and shit like that, and not even like important things, but like when you go into a Walmart in Kentucky and you can just buy fucking guns, you realize how free some people actually are.
Oh
yeah, Kentucky's based.
Some fucking states are way more fucking free. Like,
yeah, everyone moved to my state because it's cool and fun.
We have a fucking overlooming shadow. All states have. Do we all know?
But eventually you gotta just dude, okay. So
the
last
federal government, dude, is what makes everything fucking gay.
The last couple weeks,
yes, it is
not cool.
The last couple weeks, I've actually started cutting certain ties with certain things, and I've becoming more at peace with the things that fucking happen to me. and I don't fucking care
The
anymore,
Buddha mat.
dude. You know what I'm talking about. You know,
The-
goddamn what I'm talking about.
You need to get a picture of yourself like in the Buddha pose, Matt, and then we'll make a T-shirt out of that.
Why
The
are you
Buddha
gonna
mat.
make fun of me because I'm fucking
We're
fat?
gonna rub your belly for good luck, dude. It's
I mean, I wasn't trying to go on that angle. I was saying like because he doesn't give a fuck, he's all zen now and shit. But damn, y'all want to just go in on him.
Everyone makes fun of me all the time.
Xavier Waffles is offering to get Matt a Forest Service job.
I love that.
Sounds base, dude.
Yeah, please.
Dude, that would be fucking awesome, man. Go for that. That's I would say that they're calling.
Send Yakov a fucking email. I'll literally look into that. I got nothing to fucking lose.
Speaking of Forest Service, do you think you'd see Bigfoot? Bigfoot? Big Dick?
Probably. Are you able to smoke weed on that job? Because I'll do that too.
Hey, ain't nobody looking
right
at you. You and Bigfoot are the only ones out there, brother.
Matthew,
no, but
Matthew,
like,
yes, Yazine, yes.
when you were talking about southern states and stuff, you reminded me of a post I posted a long time ago.
Okay.
It was a picture of a big family, and they had lots of pictures of Jesus and Holy Mary on their wall. And yeah,
I want to say right
I
now,
wrote-
because of something in the chat, it's very important. Xavier Waffles, say you're joining the Discord now. If you seriously want to proposition Matt for, even if it's halfway serious and you don't even know where it's at or where anything, if you don't know the logistics, fucking email me. You don't got to pay to get in. If you're serious about that, fucking email me.
What is he trying to like?
Yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't matter, but it sounds awesome.
Business gets emails versus.
Hey, everybody that's like, listening and shit, like, I will do the fucking bit. Like, I'm here for it.
Morpheus, do you know where you're at? Did I fuck up your whole train of thought?
Nah, I don't know.
It happens. My bad.
No, you were
Something
talking
about
about one of the
Big
Muslim families that you were talking about.
All right,
No, not Muslim. No, it was fucking Christian. Anyway, the picture, I'm gonna send it to you in a few seconds. Anyway, I wrote this on it. It was long time ago. I wrote, real patriotism is the willingness to take down the government when it doesn't serve its people, when it is conducting psychological operations to dismantle the family, the collective, and turn the folk submissive, weak, obedient to the divided individuals, do the reverse, serving the government back. And that's how it works. They start with the family, because family, creates society. It creates tribe. From tribe, it creates a nation. And it goes like that, So they start with the family, they divide it. So they promote individualism, just like we talked about, the separation of, the separation between parents and their child, their children,
Yeah, it's
And
all a
it goes
reflection
like
of the
that.
broken system, and it goes in steps, microcosms and macrocosms, and it's just the same fucking broken ass thing. And that's the thing, is that's why I love Chris Chan, is that he is a macrocosm of my microcosm. I feel like all the effects he has felt, all the dejection and all that shit it's stuff I've felt on much smaller levels. I think everybody's getting that.
Oh yeah, I say that too because like I don't want to sound all social justice and all this bullshit, but I'm about to say it. Like all that shit you see, that George, like I could be George Floyd tomorrow, dude. Like you could be George Floyd tomorrow, dude. Like I'm
We
telling
are
you,
George Floyd.
we are all George because I'm telling you, dude. Like it doesn't matter where you come from or what color you are, dude. Like we could all be George Floyd.
We all can't breathe in some
Yeah.
way or another.
Yeah,
Bud, what up, dude?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Struggling
I'm
to
dying.
find that air.
I'm dying to get to Bigfoot content. Everybody's DMing
All right, let's
me
go.
saying to
Then
bring him
fucking
in.
Go
do it.
straight to it.
Let's do it. Am I sharing my shit here?
George-
God, am I?
Yeah, I see you go.
Bigfoot can't breathe.
You fucking
True.
sunburn ass.
All right. Let's get this. First and foremost, tinfoil GF. How do we feel about her? She wears a hat. She lives in an igloo.
10-10.
He lives in a
I
what?
could channel energy from her right now.
No,
She's-
that's what the fucking tinfoil's there for. It's blocking all of that. That's why she got the tinfoil hat and she's living in a tinfoil igloo.
I think
As
we
someone
should-
that lives in a 10-foot igloo, she looks like
Play
shit.
play
we
the
should
video.
Introduce Matt to her.
I played this on Mega Streamcast, so I'm
Matt,
going to
is
do
this
a
your girlfriend?
tiny little bit of
hope
this.
Dude, once he plays her,
And
she better
so
be
now the
fucking cute.
drones, I
I'm
was
telling
trying
you.
to record the sound of the drones.
Let's do it.
Predator
Come on.
drones are cooking you, people. TIs.
They never stop. It's just like non-stop
Where's the
helicopter
picture?
sounds above
She
the
hot?
house.
There. You guys see it?
Oh,
Was it
she's
showing?
out of the UK. Or is
Oh,
she from
Yeah,
Boston?
She's a
Yeah.
doctor, actually. Believe it or not.
God
All right,
damn it. I
fuck
have
this
to-
shit. Let's talk about Bigfoot. It's way more fun, right? Georgia
Oh.
Bigfoot.
What? Why'd you bring her up?
Yeah, gee,
I did that on Mega
That was so
Streamcast.
random.
Everybody
Oh, that
missed
was
it.
a leftover? That was-
Wow, Yakov cucked me yet again. Damn.
So what do
Oh,
we
this
think
one's a
of this?
fat boy.
He do. And
That was
I
a
see.
chunky one.
I feel like I see the sagittal crest there.
Oh yeah, you see
I
all
didn't-
the whole 9 yards. This is a good video.
Yeah,
Yakov,
this
I
is very
didn't see
good.
her.
It looks
I
like a
didn't see her.
fucking like a Nat Geo gorilla video.
Man,
They're like,
Yakov cucked me. This sucks.
What do you think of Bigfoot, Matt? Yay or nay on this one?
I didn't get to see the fucking girl that was
I don't
like,
give a
trying to
shit
get
about that. Tough cookies, you bitch.
Wow.
Now what I want to
Yeah.
I want to know here. Arm length is one thing I'm trying to know. I'm trying so hard. And from what I'm seeing right here, arm length is like down almost to the knees.
that's a child. This
I'm
is an
protesting.
adolescent.
I'm
It's a
protesting
fat
Yakov.
adolescent child.
It's an
I'm
adolescent
protesting
Bigfoot.
Yakov.
One who is more likely to be adventurous and to mess with people and to be seen.
Everyone
And
should
he
protest
likes
Yakov.
snacks.
Fuck Yakov.
He,
He
was
likes
there for the
snacks.
snacks, without a doubt.
He is forging further, so it could be on a right of
Mod, fucking protest. What are you
Please
doing?
ignore him.
Political activism is haram in Islam.
Now look at the
No.
shape. The shape
No.
of that body is it's fucking me up, dude. It's ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. Is he's fat?
Yeah,
Like, this is
it
a
looks like he's a
chunky
big
boy.
old gut, dude. You're
This
right
is
about
not
that.
like other Bigfoot. This is not like other
that's-
Bigfoots.
no,
we've
Can
seen.
you
that's
play
a-
that video again?
Hold on.
That's just a black Neanderthal.
Really? Were they all
That's-
black?
yeah.
The Cheddar Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
Homo erectus cannot be this big.
Do you guys see the sagittal
Maybe
crest that I'm
Inca.
talking about? The cone head?
My Homo erectus is that big.
You are a homo.
Homo.
I'm saying it. I believe this.
Hominid.
And I'm also looking for like breaks in the suit potentially.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
didn't see
getting
it.
maybe a little bit of a sense of that around the waist, but it's a fat boy is the problem. Maybe in the back of the head, but the thing is, like, what gorilla costumes put on a sagittal crest? The answer is like none. And another thing, first of all, it opens the video, and it looks like he's sneaking around in like a fucking like a crawl. Are you guys seeing that, or is that
Yeah.
just a difference in height? That's one thing Bigfoot is said to do is crawl around like that, get behind large rocks, and you'll have the stories about like people disappearing in like the side by side berry bushes when they're kind of enclosed, or the boulders, people disappearing into the boulders. And that's one thing they say is that they'll hide behind stuff like that, behind trees, and you'll just be able to make them out, and that would be their survival strategy, like that evolution supposedly has granted them the ability to be undetected. That is what they do instead of getting aggressive or anything like that. That's why they're so hard to detect.
I mean, that's kind of like what we would do when we like in the wilderness. Like
Yes.
I would like post up against a tree and just
So-
like be all silent.
Yeah. So, like in
Isn't that crazy?
In
Like-
tribal cultures, especially like the Zulu, they had scouts that could not. You couldn't hear any of their footfalls. It was scary for the British because the British would line up for a firing line, and then all of a sudden they would have hundreds of Zulu warriors just 3 feet in front of them. So
Damn.
it is possible for a humanoid to, especially if it's barefoot, to learn stealth pretty often. But I think because it's an adolescent, it's forging way closer to human habitation than it should be.
There you go.
Mermaids.
Trying to
Mermaids
prove
are just.
himself.
He got a taste for the Cheetos.
Yeah.
What
happens when you feed the bears?
Mermaids are just say sailors' Coomer propaganda. I believe it. So this Bigfoot must be just some, I don't know, just schizophrenic imagination. Sometimes
We're all sharing the hallucination
I'll come
right
on
now.
this thing.
I come for Bigfoot.
Asterios asks, where was this recorded? Georgia is all I have. That's all the information I got. Classic wood booger. Go on to a Pennsylvania account. Supposedly, the Bucks County mayor from Pennsylvania had a Bigfoot sighting. Let's see what the fuck he had to say about it, huh?
The mayor?
Yeah, let's check it out.
It's a legend many claim to have witnessed.
Like all the news.
Bucks County mayor says
Love my
he believes
trees.
Bigfoot is
Love my
real based
boulders.
on what he heard.
Alicia is here with his story, and Alicia, this is one he's been
Dude,
telling
okay,
for almost
hold
hikers.
on. Smash or
racist.
pass on Alicia, did they say? Smash or pass?
Check on the right there.
Yeah.
Smash.
Hard.
Smash. She's voluptuous. Large breasts, and look at those thighs.
Think she's wearing those,
Look at those hips, dude.
Think she's wearing those leggings that like conceal her gut? Maybe that flops out.
I hope not.
Yeah, me too. You never know until it's too late.
I mean, like, at that point, yeah, it's too late, but you gotta go ahead.
Yeah, I'm doing it. You're gonna be kidding me at that point? No, yeah.
Yes, it was in July of
I'd bury
1984
my
when
face
Regalsville
in-
Mayor Greg Stokes was camping in Pike County. He hears rustling outside of the tent. It's something large and menacing, he says, something on 2 feet. Then he hears a
Your
scream
mom.
that was horrifying and still haunting.
This thing let out the scream from hell. So I
Scream.
pulled up right in my tent, and this thing vibrated my body.
Do you
so
think he
hard
won
I
another
couldn't see the
election
inside
out
of
of
the
this?
tent. And it had this
He's going for the Bigfoot vote.
Yeah.
That probably worked out for him.
huge resonance. And it was close enough to me that I could hear its lips pop apart when it actually started to scream. It was a very, very low guttural tone and a very, very high pitched tone. And the thing that really stuck out in my
So Mayor Stokes says he is 99% sure it was
Oh,
Bigfoot,
they
but
just
he
cut off
leaves
the
one
mayor?
I know, that
out
pisses
only
me
because
off.
he didn't actually see the creature. He has spent the last 37 years reading and researching.
If I was a
the facts
mayor, I
and
would have
meeting
called
other
my
people
connections
with
and got that
similar
bitch fired.
experiences. Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project
You're
has about
fucking.
20,000
You think you
members.
could cut me off,
Bucks
bitch?
County chapter is getting
There's about 46
I'm the fucking mayor.
reported a year. There's probably triple that number that
Who
actually
the fuck was that?
happened,
Mute that shit.
but people don't report them.
This is the mayor's phone.
I've had people laugh.
It
At me.
might
It's okay.
be.
I don't care.
When people hear your story and you know there are critics, what do you say?
You weren't laying in the tent with me.
You should have been laying in the tent with me.
Stokes is the keynote speaker at the next meeting in
What
his
did he
town
mean
of
by
Louisville next week. He says he
Bigfoot
wants
should have been in that
stories,
tent with me.
of course, but also to understand the species that they all believe are living among us in our wood.
Among
us, Amogus.
Particularly here in Pennsylvania.
Sauce.
Huh. I
I'm gonna
know.
play the Among Us
You
drip
believe it,
theme.
Alicia?
I mean, it's his story, and he
Boom,
tells it.
boom,
and he's
boom,
been telling
boom,
it.
boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Imagine if
Alicia.
Bigfoot had sex with this lassie on the right. Imagine the boy would be.
I would watch that. I would raise that
He'd
child.
look
with
like
facts.
me. He'd
No.
look like Flame.
Raising Bigfoot.
Matt will always be the baby Bigfoot. That's what Shaggy Two Dope said. That makes it canon.
Shaggy Two Dope said that.
Yeah, he called him a baby Bigfoot and said Mama Bigfoot was going to carry him away into the wilderness. And then he called him Sweaty Man. Shaggy fucking Two Dope. No goddamn joke. The great times.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, that guy, he talks in such like a Detroit accent. So I could just imagine, like, this shit's so funny to hear.
Classic. It was.
That would have been
classic
fucking funny to hear that.
I know. We were standing there in line, like I've told before, with the fucking camera, the video camera, ready to go, and the fucking homie, Too Tough Tony or whatever, was like, "Nah, you can't bring that in." Fuck,
Oh,
dude. Whatever. We got another Bigfoot video.
What about your phone? Like, there were like no phone videos.
No, there was no video.
Fuck.
No video was allowed. Alright, let's check this fucking shit out. Now, potato vision, granted. Look at the movements in this critter. You think a bear would move like that? It looks like it's deep in the snow. I have no idea where this video is from. Don't ask me.
I'm good, Professor. How are you?
You think that's just a guy?
No.
What do you think it is, a djinn?
Yes.
Look at his tits. Oh, look at that. Classic Bigfoot stride. Arms down to the knees, sagittal crest. I want to say a brow ridge, but maybe that's being too hopeful.
It does have a brow ridge and a short snout. Is what I'm saying.
Look at that, motherfucker.
Maybe
Dude.
Bigfoot is just a mix between a gorilla and a hominid, made by Pipe, CIA shit.
And we all heard like Stalin's attempt to like create chimpanzee human super soldiers or whatever the fuck. From what I've read, it is actually like theoretically possible that an ape and a human could breed. And while there's enough genetic difference to make it like practically impossible, like in theory, I've heard that it could be done.
Yeah, they're close, 46 chromosomes to 48. So it's kind of close.
Looking at this
We
thing, and
need to
honestly,
test it.
Well, I heard that specifically when I was reading about the orangutan that they would like have in a brothel and people would come and pay to fuck it. So it was like in regards to that story specifically. It was shaved. Don't worry, they shaved it.
Do you know the propaganda to hide Fauci's hands in the creation of HIV? They said the patient zero of HIV was a gay who was sleeping with thousands of partners. That's correct, but the incorrect thing is they say he slept with an ape. That's
yes,
how he
that
got
is
the
common.
HIV.
That is commonly said. You're saying Fauci did it?
Fauci is in league with Bigfoot.
That's probably
Yeah.
true. He's the only one who hasn't gotten vaxxed yet. Jesus Christ.
The final
Year's 2057.
vaccine will turn everybody into Bigfoot.
Oh God, take me.
Take my money.
Get the jab.
I'm in, dude.
The only way.
Imagine if the jab was done on the just imagine, and the needle is very fucking big.
Imagine tape and needles. Sorry. I do have more Bigfoot content. I should have spaced it out a little better. Now I gotta read. I spent fucking half a mega streamcast reading like Francis E. Deck, and oh boy, am I paying the price. All right. So what the fuck do I have? I got some stories. I got the account of the human Bigfoot War of 1855. You think I got any citations for this? I don't. But I got the story.
Source.
It's fine.
Revealed to me in a dream.
The very bizarre account begins in 1855 in the region of the present U.S. states of Oklahoma and Arkansas, where the once mighty Choctaw Nation of Native Americans once ruled over all they saw. In this year, there was an apparent scourge of unseen bandits venturing forth from the wilderness to steal vegetables and even livestock. This might have been the end of it if it were not for the claim that the trespassers are said to have soon graduated to kidnapping people, mostly children, which provoked a fierce reaction in the tribe. A search party was allegedly formed, composed of a group of uncommonly large cavalry warriors called the Light Horsemen, the largest of whom was the towering Hamas Tubby and his 6 sons, who were widely reported as standing at around 7 feet or more in height. These real giants, along with a contingent of 30 other very large and fierce horseback riding warriors, headed out, led by a part French, part Choctaw general by the name of Joshua Lafleur. And their mission was to find the culprits and put an end to their reign. As they headed out into the wilderness in the early morning hours from the tribal capital of Tusculoma, fully armed with high-powered rifles and pistols and thirsty for vengeance, these menacing, proud warriors no doubt thought that this would be a simple matter of routing some ragtag group of bandits. Yet they were in for quite a bizarre surprise, to say the least. The group of warriors penetrated deep into the region, which is now known as the McCurtain County Wilderness area of present-day Oklahoma. And after 8 hours of riding nonstop through the blazing June sun, they stopped at a spot near the Clover River to rest and eat, before remounting and continuing on the last leg of their tiring journey. It was after nearly 14 hours of almost nonstop riding that the men reached the area where the bandits were said to be most active, and it was here that LaFleur suddenly gave the order to halt, as if he had seen something that caught his attention. Using a crude telescope, LaFleur peered off into the distance as the men rumbled amongst themselves and the horses huffed and chuffed. The general claimed he could see something moving about ahead, and voiced his confidence that it was the enemy before putting the telescope aside and giving the warriors the order to charge. The massive, bloodthirsty warriors must have been quite a sight as they howled and rushed their horses through the trees in a mad dash into battle, weapons drawn and ready to fight. Yet their powerful drive forward was soon brought to a halt when the unbearable stench of decay hit them like a wall, and their steeds began to inexplicably buck and rear in an abrupt, profound panic, knocking several of them to the mossy ground to writhe around, hacking and coughing. Such was the intensity of the supposed olfactory assault. Some of the warriors, including the Tubbies and LaFleur himself, were alleged to be able to control their animals and advance past this nauseating wave of rotting stink to rush towards the bandits, and as they exploded out into a forest clearing, the source of the Stygian stench was clear. There, in the center of the clearing, they found what was described as some sort of earthen mound that had embedded within it, and strewn about it, numerous corpses in varying levels of decomposition, drawing a fog of flies that droned all about the startled warriors. Of human bandits, there was no sign, but looming nearby were 3 enormous ape-like creatures covered in hair, so tall as to dwarf even the most statuesque of the Tubbies themselves. These beast men purportedly stood there, glaring in their direction, completely unafraid of the tribal warriors. What purportedly followed next is just as dramatic and over-the-top as any action movie, allegedly. LaFleur is said to have charged the strange beasts without hesitation, pistol and saber in hand, and howling the whole time. One of the creatures stepped forward and lashed out with a massive hand to swat the general's horse to the side of its head with a thunderous blow that sent it sprawling to the ground dead. LaFleur was ejected to the ground, but was soon on his feet with pistol blazing, managing to hit the wild man several times but barely slowing it down at all. Even after sustaining several gunshot wounds, it barely bled at all, seemed to have not even felt it, and lunged forward to grab the man by the head, and he ripped it clean off. All of this had happened before the others had even any time to react, nor indeed even process the situation at all, and they had witnessed it in a wide-eyed stupor. Upon seeing their general slump to the ground without a head as this vicious ape creature loomed over his carcass, they produced their rifles and launched a withering volley of bullets at the monster, which managed to drop all but one of them. The grievously injured creature purportedly limped off in a bid to escape, but was set upon by one of the Tubby brothers, who pounced and apparently cut its head off with a hunting knife. In the aftermath, it was just a few scattered native warriors poised and ready for the next attack that would never come. The smell of gun smoke and that fetid stench of dead bodies, feces, and urine lingering all around them. In the background, that Tubby brother crouched over the hulking beast with blood in his knife and hands. The natives then went about the grim work of burying the dead, finding the bodies of at least 19 children among them, and the bodies of the hulking beasts were burned on a bonfire. That is the end of the story.
So, several questions. What year is this reportedly?
1855.
1855, and they don't have muzzle loading. It's not a muzzle loading pistol?
I have no goddamn idea how this works.
Because it says he fired several shots with his pistol. So
some black nationalists told me that they were click-clacking around this country with Uzis back before the white man even came. So I wouldn't write it off. Could be true.
Second question. I don't think a hunting knife would be enough to cut off a Bigfoot's head.
That specifically reminds me of the story of David and Goliath.
This is right out of Beowulf with the mound and the bones and that.
It's a good story. I'd like to see the movie.
Look at the bones!
Make Val Kilmer the lead. I'm in. He's like
having like a revolving pistol would be possible. I mean, the first patent was filed in 1836.
It would be possible, but for like a roving band of natives led by a half Frenchman, right around the start of the Civil War. I don't think so.
We call
Did you find any information on the Tubby brothers?
They were tall.
Do they have any living relatives?
No, they all died in the human Bigfoot wars of 1855.
So no female relatives survive.
Where were we here? I did have a little more Bigfoot. Make sure it's not too much to fucking read, or
I'm on the side of Bigfoot. You know, it's hard to maintain that level of protein nowadays. Small child help.
That's true. It is a small snack that keeps your energy up. I agree with that. I read a story about a pilot in Alaska having his wife stolen by Bigfoot. So, like, I don't know, the Bigfoot stealing motif, it's very interesting to me. It's way more interesting than any other theories about people missing in the wilderness. I want it to be Bigfoot. I want to believe.
The power of belief will make it so.
I also found out that there is a Bigfoot cult, which shouldn't be surprising. What is it titled? Sasquatch Close Encounter Network for Interspecies Communication, which already sounds sexual. Might have more information on this to come. I think it's a UFO cult, and the head of it is a guy named Sunbo Truman, I believe. Or something equally fucking stupid. We'll have to check that out sometime. Yeah, kind of.
It's gonna be the next Skinwalker meetup.
I'm in. So we can move to gangstalking a little bit here, I believe.
I just found an article in a website called Occult Word. It is talking about Bigfoot. And there I found a picture of some men collecting his hands or feet, maybe.
Bigfoot feet? Big feet?
Yeah, I'm gonna send
foot
it to
hunter.
you. I'm gonna send
Get
it.
that feet on screen.
Did he go on to direct several hit movies?
Yeah.
Was it Dan Schneider?
Was it Quentin Tarantino?
That's who I was thinking about.
Epstein? What's your favorite Epstein movie?
He was the Footman.
Jeffrey R. Epstein.
Oh man, foot pics. All right, let me get these foot pics on screen. Why the fuck not? It's always good to have foot pics. Everybody appreciates it.
Hell yeah!
You guys may say some things while I get foot pics up.
I personally don't care much for
feet pics.
I would suck toes.
I don't know. I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even do that for the hoes. Because some hoes out here, they fucking have their fucking roaches in their bitch.
It's when you're in the shower and finally cleaning between your toes. Feels great. We need to get. I still have a snapshot of your feet, Flame. I need to Photoshop juggalos onto his
Juggalo foot, juggalo feet.
Photoshop a juggalo's face under his
Photoshop Shaggy under his foot.
Having a hard time getting these feet pics up because I'm half retarded.
Shaggy on the left, Island J on the right.
Assume they're huge.
Our
like
imagination
2 hands,
of Bigfoot's feet,
like 2 cubits. Yeah, you just imagine how big they can be. I wear a size 13, so they're a little bit bigger than that.
They're like snowshoes.
You know, the timing of the appearance of Bigfoot, you know, it just goes along with the UFO shit and aliens and stuff. And I guess they're preparing for something, you know. Maybe
Bigfoot is, or the Illuminati?
Everything, you know, everything is in the perfect place and the time, you know. And I guess Bigfoot, you know, aliens coming to Earth and you know making us slaves for them. I guess that's just, you know, some fucking demonic entities are gonna embody.
Well, are you of the opinion that in the end times that quote unquote like monstrous races will reappear on the earth?
Yeah, it's possible. It's very.
You believe that, right? Yeah.
This is supported by Hadith. Yeah.
Do you know why? Because the shit is going to the edge. It keeps pushing and pushing to the edge. And when you reach the fucking edge,
I could give some credence to that. We live in an age where like we are going to be going towards the cyberpunk universe. Like we are going towards the cyberpunk reality.
We broke a cycle.
People are going to take body modification to a whole nother level. No, there could be like people like having these heavy body modifications and falling under psychosis. They're becoming monsters. They're like they're becoming essence demonic in their own their lives. So
I'll ask you what I'm drinking in the chat. This is peach whiskey. It tastes pretty good to be honest, but it's not my speed. My bad. Anything else, Flame?
No.
I do want to be talking about gang stalking. Let's go into this. I
do want to probably try some of that peach whiskey.
Flamey.
Old camp.
Flamey.
Old camp is
the thing.
It's good.
The thing of the pattern of the cycle. Everything was repeating. The downfalls of empires and the rises and the downfalls and the rises. And the eras.
What is it, Gangstalked?
Then we have the cyberpunk, which is kind of pushing to the edge, pushing to the AI that is full
the
of
dawn of
demons
Francis E. Deck and the Frankenstein computer god.
Yeah.
And renowned pummeler Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, I guess the age of aliens are just gonna be some demons embodying that image of the alien the CIA made in our heads, a triangle head with big eyes. That's not really an alien. That's just a deception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it have a pussy though?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's got a cloaca, maybe.
They're gonna be Imagine putting your dickus into an alien and inside the vagina there's testicles.
No.
Look, you're making this needlessly complicated. I've already fucked the thing.
Listen, if I'm already inside, it's already done. It's already
game
done.
over, dude.
Already done. I already did it.
This is like a cigarette afterwards.
Are
Don't
we
tell
ready
Yakov
to?
how the sausage is made, bro.
Are we ready to go into fucking gang stalking yet?
Go ahead,
please.
Oh, Daddy,
You need
please
it.
gang stalk me.
Cyberpunk gang stalking.
Don't fucking threaten me. I'll
Yes.
gang stalk every single one of
Oh.
you. You motherfuckers will find out. Insiders
Don't tell
on
me
the
it's-
news.
edition of The Insiders, we investigate the phenomenon of gang
Scott Hall.
stalking. WTXL, ABC 20.
Now, gang stalking, like specifically
Normies have
mentioned
found out.
on some.
Yeah.
This is years ago too. I wish I should have taken down the years for all of these, but honestly, this stuff seems like gang stalking was kind of catching on here and there in local news before people knew what it was and realized like all these people are schizophrenic. But at the same time, I do think there are some people who probably are being gang stalked, and maybe some of these are those people. Some of these people who are going to be highlighted over these videos that I'm going to show seem pretty normal. It's hard to say. But let's go on. Let's get actual media response to gang stalking.
The phenomenon of gang stalking. WTXL ABC 27's Paulo Salazar examines the events that led to one man taking a gun on FSU's campus and opening fire.
So this was the Florida State University shooting. I believe this was 2008, if I'm not mistaken. And the dude, he uploaded a manifesto, and they're going to show a little bit of that. And one day I would like to go over the whole thing, but I don't know if it's this is the right format for it. So
The only format you have, Matt. Oh, you mean the podcast?
November 20th, 2014.
Yeah.
Today, many will never forget
it.
in Tallahassee and beyond. What started out as a night of
That's the
studying
face
at
of
the
a
library
gang
turned to
stalk, man.
tragedy because of one man, Myron May. May believed he was a victim of gang stalking. Well, tonight you'll hear from May in his own chilling words, pleading for anyone to understand him as we examine just what is gang stalking.
Kind of my last words. It's really unfortunate that I have to make this video. You see, I am a victim of covert harassment and electronic harassment.
I love this.
Please help support this.
I'm what's called a targeted individual.
Pack phenotype.
On November 20th, 2014, 31-year-old Myron May walks into Strozier Library on the campus of
Big
Florida
virgin
State
energy
University
there.
and opens fire. 3 people are injured. May tries to leave campus, and a shootout with police in front of the library ends violently. The medical examiner confirming May was shot 24 times by police.
Right.
Jesus.
For now,
Got
things
him.
seem to be back to normal on campus. Students have fallen back
Gotta
into
make
routines.
sure, you know.
But it was
You
here
hit him with the
not
dead
so long
eye.
ago on a tragic night that
the
had
dead eye.
people wondering what could make a
Plus
man
slow
snap
motion.
and lose control.
What causes a seemingly well-liked guy to plan a mass murder?
bow tie. The
Is
bow
it mental
tie is
illness, or as many suggest,
Such a shame
a
Shelton
victim of
Benjamin had
gang
to do
stalking?
this.
The cause.
No,
Why
if
is
you
it-
were just
Hold
playing
up,
video games.
hold up.
To drive a targeted individual crazy.
If you search gang stalking on the internet, you can find thousands of people all over the world describing similar circumstances. Those who feel
Gang
they are
stalking
victims of gang
2015.
stalking truly believe people are out to get them.
They employ isolation tactics. They basically try to convince your family, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers that they should be keeping an eye on you.
In a 2-hour video diary that May released before the shooting, he explains how and when he started to believe he was a targeted individual.
A constant bout of noise that is never ending is designed to keep the targeted individual on edge.
In September of 2014, while May was living in Las Cruces, New Mexico, he filed a police report. In the incident report, May told police that someone put a camera in his apartment and that he was hearing voices coming through the walls. May began to believe family and friends were in on the conspiracy to make him crazy.
I am totally
They
not
were.
crazy. I'm completely sane, but they've employed these tactics against me as well to try to make me appear to be a crazy person.
Tyrone Dew, an advocate and victim of gang stalking, says it's hard to prove that gang stalking is not just in your mind.
It's virtually impossible to be able to tell that someone is being attacked.
One thing I find very interesting here. This is your guy, Tyrone Dew here. He's the advocate. He's an advocate and a victim of gang stalking, allegedly. Dew, there's no way that's his actual last name. That is directed energy weapon. That's a fucking acronym that gang stalking victims use all the fucking time.
He's a perp, bro. He's a perp.
So it's
Simple
little
as.
things like that. It tells me the fucking media is just not catching on, which fucking shocker, right?
This is just trying to make fun of them.
These weapons that are being used.
Well, to be honest, to me, it is kind of trying to. It's being so fucking like objective, like too objective almost. But at the same time, it's like this dude sounds sane. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know.
Against you, we can only see the direct effects, and these effects, really seem like symptoms.
And what unfolded that Thursday morning in November is testimony of just how bad those suffering from mental illness can get. Through the entire process, Myron May believed he was being stalked.
There has been a shooting in the library. Stay where you are.
Father, forgive me for what I'm about to do. Forgive me for all of my sins. Past sins, present sins, any future sins. I'm sorry that my faith was so weak. Amen. And that is the end of my personal story.
As for one of May's victims, Ronnie Ahmed, who's now paralyzed as a result of
They
the shooting
could
that
chose
night,
any better picture than
he's
that.
back in school and moving on with his life.
They do what they were
He
doing.
looks
Idea
fucking
for
crazy.
the insiders. You can email us your
So happy.
That was the flattering picture.
We should get Ahmed on the show.
So what's our verdict with that guy? Are we saying totally schizo? I don't.
No,
I'm not a doctor. What's that?
I don't know, man. I was on the schizo side because I'm That's kind of where I lie. But when you fucking pointed out, like that guy's last name is not Dew. It's not real. I was like,
The guy,
he's got his
you know,
point.
it's possible to impersonate a faithful fella, you know, forgive me, father, and all this stuff. It's possible
You're right.
to impersonate.
It's not hard to do that. Like, I'm looking at it like this is a guy who had a job. He's got like a diploma on the fucking wall. He seemed to have his shit together. And
But
I
the
don't know.
thing
I would like
is,
to know
if
how
you- if
old
you're
he was. I'm not sure.
schizophrenic,
I'm
if you're
curious about that.
schizophrenic, if you're schizophrenic for real, you impersonate perfectly.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a schizo.
He might have been in his early 20s. I can't tell how old he was because black don't crack and whatnot. But I don't know how old he was, and I want to look into that because if it's early 20s, that's the perfect time for the schizophrenic break. I'm going to Google it right now.
You know, I
He
wanted
did
to
look pretty
link.
damn young.
He did.
I have to say he's probably 21. Like if he's in this is in college, yeah, homeboy's probably 21.
Maybe. I don't know.
You know,
are there any notable fraternities at the college that could have triggered
No
this?
goddamn idea.
The
I
fraternity
wanted to
of
link
gang
this.
stalking sounds fun.
Yeah,
link
they
this.
do that all the time. That's how they get school shooters and shit. Is they gang stalk them until they break.
What, the fraternity associated with Gangstalked?
Okay. So
Yes.
Myron May was 31 at the time. So that's late for a schizophrenic break.
This was legit gang stalking.
This was
Maybe.
gang stalking.
This is legit.
Chris Chan, I wanted to link it. Yeah, maybe he was gangs to rape his mother.
That is an argument
Chris
that
Chan
people have made. I don't think
He's
it's a
gang
valid
stalked
one.
by the normal man. Like what we saw here was gang stalked by nefarious, dark, or maybe government. Chris Chan gang stalking. That's like guys in this podcast. Like
Yeah,
this is
personal,
like
you
this
know,
is
some
us.
You did it. It's that.
No, I'm saying like it's guys like us that did that gang stalking. There's just average ass Joes, I guess.
You know, the CIA loner?
Yeah.
He was a loner. He looks virgin and lonely, you know. That's a target for CIA.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
We are all targets for CIA.
Potentially you got to be fucking smart, and if you're not smart, then you are the mark. You're the fucking mark, and they're coming for you.
Yeah, they're looking for the MK Ultra thing. They have a set criteria what they look for. I don't really remember everything off the top of my head, but I did an episode on this. Not when Yakov left and he did his own thing for a little bit, and we were with EXO. I did an episode on this MK Ultra shit that goes into depth of what kind of people are targeted. Like a prime example would be like the Sirhan. If anybody's familiar with the JFK shooting with Sirhan. Anyone?
Yes.
Yeah, so like that individual
RFK?
RFK. That he's a prime example of he basically was like everything suggestible, open to a spirituality, to occultism. He was able to put his own self into hypnotism. Like there's like specific categories that the MK Ultra people are picked out for. You were trying to say something. You seen?
Flame. Jesus Christ! When you said JFK,
I didn't mean JFK. RFK.
But that's a good synchronicity. I wouldn't say coincidence. They always attached the term gang stalking. Why wouldn't they propose the possibility of government stalking?
They are.
Did,
usually it is the federal government funding the local government who is employing your community.
Yeah.
That's the
media.
It seems like the community because like what better better disguises would you have than being the gardener outside, being the fucking mailman?
If the media started linking dots in, and talked about governments talking, not gangs talking, you would see the same thing happened with JFK, executing the conspiracy theory operation, discrediting anyone who digs into this stuff. If anyone comes at that time and a whistleblower, and links the dots between the gang and governments, see a backlash of the CIA, and everything will fade away in a very short time. But since it was working for them as a distraction, gang was linked to a mob or something, something linked to the people, not the government, so they kept it, viral and stuff. But if it was dangerous to the CIA or government, you wouldn't even see it, wouldn't even witness it, wouldn't even know it. And I guess that was just a distraction. It was just a distraction. But you can clearly see the details and the characteristics of government. He said camera, said voices, he said, surveillance.
Assuming it's true, it takes a certain level of technological capability.
Yeah, surveillance. Power. You need power. You need governmental power to survey someone.
Orchestration
on his home. Yeah, it's government. It's government.
I agree, and I think there are definitely people who are being used like that. It's just like when I go on fucking, I was going all over the fucking gang stalking. Well, that's true, and we're gonna get into that with more videos I have. Okay. But I'm like on the gang stalking Reddit, and it's like half these motherfuckers, if you like, who are posting about gang stalking, and you click their post history, fucking, they literally have questions, and they're being like, "Does meth make you feel like you're being gang stalked?" And like they're on meth and shit, without a fucking doubt, half of them at least. So the only reason I was on Reddit gang stalking is because I look there once in a while, but I hit fucking sort by top all time, and I realized my meme was at the top, the all-time top thing on that fucking board, and that made me feel very good. I've announced that like 5 times today because I am proud of myself. All right, let's move on to more gang stalking. I didn't post it on Reddit, by the way. I didn't do that. Someone else did it because it was so good.
Or maybe you've sensed it, that feeling that you're being watched. Well, the state has laws against stalking on the books, making it a felony.
What if police don't recognize it? And what if it's a complete stranger who's bothering you? Tonight, Joe Conger and the I-Team investigates.
The federal government can't do that to you because the federal government has a law where they can't do that to you.
The argument with that, and I don't know, I can't do it specifically, but I've heard a lot of arguments that the Patriot Act fucked all of that up. And that's kind of been my stance, is that like they made it so that even the guy next door can be a terrorist. And like I remember, it kills me because I remember telling my parents this in like 2007, being like, next it'll be the guy with the blonde hair and blue eyes, and that's who they'll be going after, saying they're terrorists, and that's like where we're at now.
Right.
Alex Jones, right again.
They made the term and the concept of terrorism so they can make some law. So exactly. They create their own field.
They just change around the words and definitions however they see fit. I mean, you could classify the American revolutionaries as terrorists.
Yeah, exactly. It's whoever the boogeyman needs to be at any given time.
Right.
I feel that I've lost my mind. I've lost my life.
Incident reports from law enforcement tell the tale. Numerous break-ins at the address.
Unsaver.
To her car, her motorcycle, her computer. Verbeth believes she's being targeted.
Everything. They just went through everything.
But sheriff's detectives had little to go on because the vandals, though often destructive, stole nothing. Even from her portable safe, drilled into and torn apart, the contents, the jewelry, remained untouched. Verbeth says her troubles didn't start until she met these 2 men. One would become her ex-boyfriend, the other was his partner in a San Antonio pain clinic, Dr. John Hall.
Very first time I met him, we went to his house on 4th of July, and he told me that because I was already there in his house, I would be the next victim, that I was going to be stalked.
Verbeth found the doctor's prophecy to be correct. She suffered months of oddness.
coming in through the front door, and I touch the doorknob and it just falls into pieces.
Lights left on, doors open, furniture moved, her clothes dryer disassembled. Her friends say they noticed the strange happenings. They tell the I-Team they even witnessed a gas oven left turned on.
As soon as you walk in the house, you'd smell gas in the house. So the whole house smelled from gas. So immediately turned it off and opened up the doors. But I mean, that thing doesn't just turn on by itself. And it had been running for a good length of time.
Or the time Verbeff and a friend say they were stalked at a mall.
I saw him following us to several stores, and I would see the man close to us, looking at us.
The girls had the presence of mind to snap a photo with their phone. Verbeff says all these happenings culminated in an assault. The 39-year-old believes someone drugged the food in her home and returned later to rape her.
I know something happened to me because
Dora, why would you do this?
a woman knows.
Yakov, would you gaslight this woman?
I don't know why they're still calling this fucking gang stalking when this is clearly gang raping. Minor difference, but it's important.
Very quickly.
Attempted game rape.
Report and was briefly hospitalized with signs of sexual assault. Dr. Hall says what Verbeff describes is known as gang stalking. Indeed, he writes about it in his book, A New Breed, Satellite Terrorism in America. Verbeff is not alone. Others in San Antonio have contacted the I-Team and described similar types of occurrences.
The urine arsenic is above normal. We shouldn't have arsenic.
Linda Johnson says someone poisoned her water supply with heavy metals in northwest San Antonio. Then there's her story about the bracelet that went missing. Then
go back.
Police, she says, have
Poison
stopped
your
listening
water
to her.
supply with
Police,
arsenic
she
and
said,
urine.
then reappearing metals
Jesus
in northwest
Christ.
San Antonio. Then there's her story about the bracelet that went missing, then reappeared. Police, she says, have stopped listening to her. And like Verbeff, she too believes she's been sexually assaulted, although she never filed a police report.
I've gone to doctors many times, and I've been to the rape crisis center for
triangle.
counseling, yes.
Many of
Her
these so-called
necklace.
victims of what Hall describes as gang stalking meet up on the internet, finding comfort and information from others who say they too suffer from electronic stalking, mind control, and even rape. Loosely defined, gang stalking is where organized groups target and harass unwilling victims to the point of paranoia, leaving the victims to deal with skeptical family members and skeptical law enforcement.
This isn't stalking done by a former spouse or former boyfriend or someone that you know that's disgruntled at you, but stalking that's being done by total strangers in an organized fashion.
And some internet links take you here to the book mentioned earlier, written by Dr. John Hall.
The book is fact. It's not a book of fiction. What I've wrote about is an isolated story here in San Antonio.
Dr. Hall says it is a story about himself and the harassment and rapes his ex-girlfriends allegedly suffered beginning in 1996. Dr. Hall believes the people behind it are well-organized operatives using government satellite technology to terrorize him and other victims.
All
I feel like this guy,
complaints, organized stalking.
This guy kind of wants to sell a book.
Weird electronic disturbances going on in
very
their
long
homes. Most of the women are
advertisement.
complaining of drugging and
I
sexual
would buy this
assault.
book.
So it
This
is
is
a
basically
national
a
problem.
Verbeff bought the book. What she
episode
read,
tape
she says,
eaters.
caused her stomach to turn, because within the chapters in the story, she found similarities to her own situation.
I pulled out the book and I started reading and I'm like, oh my God, it's exactly what's happening.
It's like turning the pages of your own story.
Everything.
Remember the doors, windows, even the clothes dryer taken apart? Page 35, third paragraph, talks about reassembling appliances. The drugged food and rape? Page 52 talks of concealing Rohypnol, the date rape drug, in drinks and food. The account in Hall's book is chilling, and the I-Team uncovered some truth to his story. San Antonio police reports indicate there was a rape reported in 2000.
So do you think this guy is roofing people based on exactly what he says in his book? And then he rapes them and then he sells books?
Yeah, that. I think a serial killer did something similar.
It would make a lot of sense. I'd be investigating this guy if I was the
I'm
popo.
pretty sure a serial killer did something similar with the Michael Crichton book. Or was it James Patterson?
In the same quad of condos where one of Dr. Hall's girlfriends supposedly lived. San Antonio police say the condo rape remains under investigation. And Bexar County detectives say Verbeff's assault remains open as well. And although there are some interesting connections to Dr. Hall in the book, law enforcement won't and cannot say if Dr. Hall is even a person of interest.
Oh.
The similarities were striking and asked him,
Could you, in fact, be the person that's creating this mess for these women?
And that's actually one of the reasons why I got out of my ex-fiance's life, to make sure that they weren't victimizing her in order to get at me.
Dr. Hall says he's been targeted by the same groups. There's mention in the book of a conspiracy by the criminals and by fellow doctors. Dr. Hall says the Texas Medical Board retaliated against him for uncovering the gang stalking. The I-Team confirmed one local hospital suspended Dr. Hall's clinical privileges for 2 months in 2006. In 2007, the Texas Medical Board ordered 2 mental evaluations of Dr. Hall. The first came back normal, but a second evaluation found a probable delusional disorder and ordered psychiatric treatment. And in 2008, Hall's license was suspended, this time when he tested positive for cocaine.
All right, cocaine, normal. It seems to me... Oh, man, that's it, the water's so muddy here, because now it sounds like this guy should be arrested for doing these things. Then he's saying that he's also suffered fucking targeted harassment. Then he's going to a psychiatrist, and they're saying he's probably crazy.
Look, this report is all part of the gang stalking scheme.
That might be true. Okay,
Schizos will buy this book. Schizos, after watching this episode, will break.
I found all of this on
the tape eaters, or do we have that privilege?
Tape eaters and or the news report.
I found all of these videos on Schizo's YouTube channels, like that, using it as evidence for whatever they're saying. That's how I found all of this. So they're definitely doing that. But it just makes me wonder, like, when the guy's like, yeah, he's probably fucking delusional. Is he talking about, like, rape, or is he talking about just the gang stalking shit in general? You know what I mean? It's so muddy. The water's so muddy.
In the book, he explains the operatives drugged him with cocaine periodically. Dr. Hall's medical license
Dog, you can own up to the cocaine. I'm not going to fucking hold that against you.
has since been reinstated.
If you look nationwide, almost
He's been
everyone that complains of this
reinstated.
eventually
Part of them
gets sent
now.
to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrists don't look into the technology. They don't do any research into whether or not any of this is possible.
With his book published, Dr. Hall is taking his message nationally. He's appeared
X-Files
on cable
music?
TV shows,
Thank you so much, Dr. Hall.
late night radio,
And our guest tonight,
That's
Dr.
the
John
ghost.
Paul.
and even has his own
And
radio
next,
program in
tape
the works.
eaters.
There have been several
Make a
people
streamcast.
in my midst, obviously, that have been victimized, but if you look at it on a larger scale, it is a national problem as well.
Dr. Hall says the problem is gang stalking, seeking to victimize innocent women and sully his reputation for exposing them. For the I-Team, Joe Conger, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.
They got it.
We need to get this guy on the show and smoke crack with him.
But the thing,
I second that
but the
motion.
thing is like we all of us in here, like if we do choose like a certain individual, we could almost gang stalk them to like this degree. Like,
Don't do that.
like-
Trust me. Don't do that. Do you see
I
how
guess-
hot fucking the fucking Ashley Pool became immediately after he did like one episode focusing on her? Don't do that. The hunter becomes the hunted, my friend. That shit got so fucking... That was a raging fire we couldn't put out. We just had to watch it burn for a little while and take cover.
Oh yeah, dude.
All I'm saying is it would suck so bad if you guys had like hot women gang stalk me. But I hate it.
Let's go to our next gang stalk.
Let's
video.
do it.
You know, this filler, it was probably gang stalked by.
Just
the
pay some
government.
escorts to gang stalk.
He
Like good pangas.
he mentioned governmental power, you know, satellites and stuff. Maybe he was for real.
It's possible. I can't write any of this off. I can say, here's a guy that I look at, and he's not giving any information that isn't found online, and he's trying to sell books. This dude's a grifter. And that's, I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong. But that is my fucking immediate response to all of that. It's my immediate
That's
response.
funny.
That the whole thing was to fucking sell
But
a book.
that's a very modern term for it, right? As
I
people,
don't-
I don't know.
There were always snake oil salesmen, man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know how it is. All right. We got San Diego mom thinks she's a victim of community stalking. Let's cut to this video.
Oh, hell yeah, I've seen this before. This is my favorite video. I used this in a video once.
This is a classic. We've played this before on iterations of the show, but it's back for more. It's a really good video.
Are made of.
It's so creepy that I decided to have a bolt put on the door, and I'm having my son sleep in here with me.
Creepy only begins to describe it.
It's like an alternate reality, really.
When she'd get home from work, Fasika Tafara started noticing things out of place in her home.
They were just all open, but what was weird is, so for example, they were open like this, but they were all at the same level.
All right,
the window.
Pause it real quick. Is she an atheist?
This is Fasika Tafara an atheist.
No, but because what if her house is just fucking haunted?
By science?
But she's an atheist, so she thinks it's Gangstalker.
That's
so
a hot take,
she cannot believe in ghosts.
Here's another thing that I'll say. Here's another thing that I want to note here. I think it's relevant here. We'll watch the rest and make sure. But on the previous video, that was someone who didn't say she was hearing voices. She didn't say they were microwaving her with predator drones. Everything she was saying was believable, and it was also things that you wouldn't need the money from the federal government to accomplish. Just weird little things in your house, things that are believable.
And she got a photo of one of the guys.
I gotta dip out.
Yes.
Apparently, apparently my neighbor had a little episode herself. Oh,
okay. Good luck out there, Angus.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Smash.
Don't become a target.
No, I'm not the target. She is.
Okay.
Lights turned on. Her cabinet's pulled out.
It's intended to let me know that somebody has been here, essentially, right? So all of the drawers have been pulled out.
Something strange every single day for almost the past month. She finally realized someone has been coming inside.
Are people following me? And then I started to wonder also, well, how do I know
a normal person would think maybe I'll put cameras in the house.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't know. I'd probably do that before calling the news. I think you got me.
But I mean, honestly, look around their house is pretty damn old.
Yeah, it could be. Dude, the haunting take is a hot one.
It's a new house. It's just run by a.
Not here.
Then Tafara found this small camera in her 11-year-old son's bedroom.
What? All right, now it's different.
So she took to the internet and started digging.
Community stalking is closed.
Something called community or gang stalking. It's an eerie practice aimed at your psyche to make you almost feel like you're going crazy.
It's spooky, and my understanding is that if this is in fact what it is, it can go on for years,
Only you're not. Tafara left her phone recording audio at her house. Listen, you can hear what sounds like people rummaging around. On one, you can hear what sounds like drilling.
So this hole here has been cut into the attic space.
Tafara says detectives have been to the house.
It's kind of like,
dude, she
has
the eyes wide
Something
open.
that makes this even more terrifying.
Yeah, that could just be her physiology, though.
I'll say.
I don't know. Maybe because I don't know. There's a few scenes.
I see what Flame is saying. Are you implying drugs?
Yeah. No, not really. I think because she's a mom and she has a kid and somebody's in her house, she's on edge. This gang stalking psyop has gotten to her and her eyes are beating. She's very paranoid.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen that look before. I've seen that look.
Here's the one thing, and this is not a major alarm bell, but this is the one alarm bell I get. She seems very talkative and charismatic.
Oh, you think she's on drugs?
No. She might be a fucking liar.
Oh, good thing.
And just doing this shit herself so that she Jussie Smollett in it.
Maybe she has acting education.
Maybe. I think they bring in the cops at the end, and it makes me wonder if this is all a ploy. And like I said, I'm just bullshitting completely here. Makes me think it could be a ploy so that she can make the police department look bad for some reason. And be like, they're doing it. It like sets up for
Really?
it perfectly. I don't know. I don't know if she's that calculating.
Keep playing the video.
She comes off as intelligent and charismatic. And that's the whole video. We watched the whole fucking thing.
How old is her son?
We have no idea. I don't think we have any.
He's 11.
I have no idea.
He's 30 years
I will be his
old.
father. I'm his new dad now. I will save you, madam, from the jinn that are possessing
Yeah, I
your
convinced
house.
the family is the djinn, not Gangstalker.
All right.
Your son's a changeling. It's just like that movie I watched with my friend.
Got a few more. Let's burn through this. Here we have
that changeling in the tree.
That's what you got to do. We got couple harassed with organized gang stalking noise harassment campaign.
We've all had nasty neighbors, but an entire town? Think how annoyed you get when just one person honks at you. Now imagine all your neighbors driving by sitting on that horn 24/7. Are they tormenting one family, or did that family wear out its welcome? We want you to decide. Here's Paula Ferris.
Of all homes in Hubbard, Ohio, it might be the last one you'd expect folks to fight over. But this vacant house on East Liberty Street is the hottest property since good old Nehemiah Hubbard founded the town 200 years ago. Oh, what a fuss over a little fixer-upper.
This all started in 2007 over a simple real estate deal, correct?
Right. It was
it's
property
bad.
next door here.
Meet Rick and Cindy Kurlich, longtime Hubbard residents. They say all they wanted was to buy the property next door. The only problem? It wasn't for sale. These folks, John and Marlene Clementi, had inherited half the house. The other half was tied up in court. But Rick Kurlich tried to buy it anyway, even though it had been in the Clementi family for generations.
I says, well, you're not getting my land. And I said, that's not right. It's my family since 1922. How could you do that?
The Clement family called me up and they told me to take my bid off the table. And if I didn't take my bid off the table, we'd be bitter enemies for life.
Rick never got the house, but he says he's still paying for what he did. As the town fire chief, Clementi had lots of friends, and suddenly Rick and Cindy say it seemed like every single one of them was driving by honking the horn.
Okay, so this is something that this noise harassment thing is something that comes up. I want you to notice that the guy they pissed off was like the fire chief, and I want to think back, and I wish I had it pulled up. I can't find it on a quick Google. Francis E. Deck would rant. He would rant about the fucking fire department and how they were arsonists who'd start fires just to put them out, then have drunken orgy sex with Filipino girls in the fire station, and he would rant about how they were part of the conspiracy. And here we have exactly that.
The fire chief guy is the guy being gang-stalked in this instance.
Is that true? Because the other guy tried to buy his house out from under him?
The rich guy is the guy that's hiring all these people to honk at the fire chief.
That's not true. That's not what's going on here.
Well, it's the other way around, actually. Because, like, I thought it explained in there, like, basically the fire chief turned the town against these people,
That's what they're getting at. That he owned the house that the dude tried to put a bid on, and though even though it never went through, he had enough connections just to harass these people. So
And it wasn't to say hello.
We got video of people driving by honking from security cameras.
Together to organize a horn-blowing campaign against us. That's really what this is all
they got the trolley.
Ask not for whom the horn blows. It blows for Rick and Cindy Kurlich.
That's very annoying.
In the beginning, it was 100 times a day.
This is classic gang stalking music.
100 times a day.
100.
So they began planning their payback. Their house now bristles with expensive surveillance cameras. As we were looking them over, just watch what happened.
The last camera is down here on the tree.
Okay. Oh, somebody just honked their horn. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's never
Was that a
ending.
friendly honk?
Probably not.
Okay.
Rick says his ear is now finely attuned.
You can tell an import horn from a domestic horn.
Who are these horn blowers? Not just people in the town, but people who work for the town. firefighters, including some from the department John Clemente ran, and police. Here's one of Hubbard Township's finest, not serving, not protecting, just honking. It's enough to wake the dead. This hearse caught 10 times. And would you look at this? The horn on the bus goes, an education for Hubbard's next generation of horn blowers. Rick and Cindy renamed their dining room the evidence room. Wow. There's more in the basement.
There's hundreds.
He's a schizo and he's gonna murder her in the basement and chop her up.
Yeah, he's like, okay, now that I'm schizophrenic, I can do this shit.
And if you can't see this, if you're just listening to this, this is Dale Gribble's basement from King of the Hill, basically.
Photographs and discs and stuff here.
You're like a detective. So when did people start blowing the horns? Were you recruiting people, telling them to get this guy out of town?
That's what he tells everybody.
John says he can explain everything. His son's girlfriend and some of her friends would occasionally blow the horn, but he says that was just their way of saying goodbye.
When they would leave the house, the girls would toot the horn just to let them know they're leaving.
A little toot? Yeah, Rick says, like this car leaving the Clementes' driveway at 4 in the morning.
Does the city of Hubbard have a horn-blowing epidemic?
An epidemic? No. We do have a problem in one particular area.
We patrolled around town with the police chief, Jim Tafe.
At some point, people began blowing horns, but it became clear at another point that on occasion it was used to harass the person that lived there.
Kurlich began taking horn blowers to court. He says he got orders of protection against more than a dozen people, and he didn't stop there.
That's pretty based. I'll give him that, dude. Because I'd want to just go outside with a bat, but like this is probably the way to do it.
He started suing.
Some money.
Somebody beeps. Rick sues. Beep. Sue. At the Trumbull County Courthouse, the legal paperwork is piling up. Rick is now suing fewer than 40 alleged hornblowers, including the Clementes.
This isn't my job, and I don't want to do this, and I'm sad that I have to.
Kurlich versus everybody.
It seems like the town of Hubbard is against the Kurliches, and everybody's in on it now.
Why wouldn't you be against him?
If you beep your horn one time, he'll take you to court. Just a regular beep.
Does the city of Hubbard want the Kurliches to leave?
I believe so.
Do you think you've made matters worse?
We don't know how else to stop it.
We knew it was a long shot, but we asked both sides if they would consider mediation.
We would love it for it to stop, but how do you get everybody in Harvard to come to a meeting and say stop?
Now there's a thought, get everybody in Hubbard to come to a meeting.
Oh, they're doing a fucking hug it out barbecue.
Oh yeah, Rick, that's just what we're gonna do. It's
hug
the
it out.
2020
Give your Gangstalkers some hot dogs. It'll be
This didn't happen. There's 3 seconds left in the video. This never happened. This is bullshit. They made hot dogs for no fucking reason. The hot dogs are a fucking lie, dude.
I just want to grill, for God's sake.
The gathering, the Gangstalkers, hell yeah.
Instead, we have endless fucking feuds, blood feuds.
Now it's a cult. Now he's definitely gonna feel gang-stalked. Imagine you thinking you're completely sane, everybody calling you a schizo, and then everybody suddenly gathers you to a party and starts chanting your name.
It's Truman Show shit. It really is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, and it's weird that like it seems like I don't know. It seems like first of all that the fire chief did tell people to piss him off, and second, it seems like they definitely want him out of the fucking community, and the cops are like admitting what's going on. So this is like definitely some organized stalking, some real organized stalking, right?
Yeah, no violence has occurred, so the police have completely put the blind eye to it, or obviously it's getting complicit.
There's not much you can do with people honking, and if you can sue them, then that's what you're doing. I don't know.
I mean, I would, if I was driving by that house, I would honk my horn just 'cause.
I would not honk my horn. I would not want to run that risk. All right, let's move. Move from.
Like, imagine if, like, you almost like got in an accident. I'm sorry for interrupting, but imagine if you almost got in an accident in front of this guy's house, and you like reactionary honk the horn, and this fucking purple-faced ass asshole comes out and fucking starts yelling at you, wanting to sue you. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's bullshit. So let's move from gang stalking in our native land to gang stalking in China. You got bad social credit?
The government.
A harassment technique seemingly inspired by science fiction is reportedly being used to torment Chinese people, specifically those who dare to stand up against government corruption. An unusual type of harassment has reportedly appeared in China, seemingly taken from the pages of a science fiction novel. Some claim the Chinese regime has developed a special kind of technology.
I love her accent. It's so close, yet so far east. It's wrong in all the right places. It's fantastic.
Used to broadcast information directly into a person's mind.
Directly?
Known as electronic harassment, it's allegedly used to silence those who dare to speak out.
Wong Haifeng says he's been suffering from what he calls electronic harassment for 12 years. He explained that it all started after he filed a corruption report in 2008. It was against then police chief of the Wuning County Public Security Bureau inside Jiangxi province. Soon after, he described being illegally detained, beaten, intimidated, and framed. Not long after that, he was involved in a car accident, something he says was staged. It left him hospitalized. He explained that since then, a device has been used to send information directly to his mind.
My mind with the device and watch my movements. They also use the audio function to send voices to my mind, disturbing me round the clock.
Following his trip to the hospital, he says he began to suffer from the unique harassment. Wong says he believes the local police are behind the electronic harassment. That's because, according to Wong, they talk to him through it using their dialect and accent.
They don't talk about anything else. They only talk about what I'm doing, disturbing me no matter what I do. No matter what, they'll make noise and talk to me.
Wong told us that sometimes he can hear 5 or 6 people talking simultaneously, even up to a dozen. He explained that to him it seems that they take shifts talking, insulting, and denouncing him, in an effort to spark his anger and make him talk back. According to him, the technology makes it so that only he can hear the noise. He describes it as a never-ending battle in his mind.
The local officials are too corrupt. They seek to kill you with this torture. They thought I couldn't last 2 years. They never imagined I would make it this long.
But Wong's long-term fatigue has taken a serious toll on his health. Now he suffers from symptoms like headaches, weakened eyesight, and shortness of breath. Despite the symptoms, Wong says that his mental health is intact. In order to prove he's not insane, he underwent 2 MRIs and a CT scan, showing that his brain is still functioning normally. Wong began in Beijing in 2015. It's taken him 4 years to get confirmation about the technology from China's Ministry of Public Security.
The reception staff of the Public Security Ministry said that they indeed have this kind of equipment. It's very expensive. It's available in all police departments at the county level and above. The equipment can monitor your thinking and send voices to your mind and talk to you in your head. That's what they said.
I believe him too, and I would like to think it's not just my my bias to think like China would do that, because I think America would do that too.
Not
America did. They did it with the Oklahoma City bombing.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying so this V2K, the voice to skull or the ass to mouth programming or whatever the fuck it is. it's I totally believe it's real, and I do believe China is ruthless enough just to use it on whoever and not give a shit.
Yeah.
And I think our own government is doing it and being sneaky as fuck about it.
Yeah, not because of the bias. Exactly what you just said, because this government is very ruthless, and they'll do whatever it takes. Yeah, and they will be brazen and bold, and
this is what's
kind of maybe out in the open too.
These are the implications of the credit score system, which I think America is going to implement soon enough as well. These are the implications. Like in China, it's a fucking long conversation here, but in China, like the thing that everybody knows is things like you can't travel or like do shit like that if you have a low credit score. You can't leave the country. And the idea is they want only the best citizens going out and seeding other cultures, and that's how they're trying to take over the world. So there's a lot of stuff like that, and there'd be travel restrictions and all sorts of stuff that we would end up having to endure. But I do think like becoming an experiment, a human experiment, isn't far off. I think there are already people like that.
Well, it's even worse here, because all the techniques, all the technology that China has and uses to corral its citizens, they have and are using in the U.S. currently.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that our government is way more covert when doing it. Because they had street cameras back in the 1940s. That's how most of the German spies in the U.S. were caught. They had street. So this stuff isn't out of the ordinary, and the media uses language like it's out of a science fiction novel to get you to discredit.
Yeah, and then 10 years later, all that shit is like admitted and known. And that's how it always is with technology. Yeah. All right, let's finish up this video.
Wang says the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, currently uses the technology to control tens of thousands of people. He says he's also spoken with other victims, who describe suffering the same round-the-clock noise in their minds. Some of them reportedly couldn't bear it and are believed to have committed suicide, but more and more victims have started to speak out. The CCP hasn't hidden its intention to weaponize mind control. Regime media mouthpiece Xinhua reprinted an article earlier last year speaking highly of the technology's military and wartime value. The article says the purpose of mind control weapons is not the destruction of an enemy's flesh, but of his will. It also says the new technology doesn't require a chip implanted in the human brain. Instead, electromagnetic waves, light, sound waves, smells, among other things, can be used. Reporting by Xu Wenhui, NTD News.
God damn. Schizo's right yet again.
Yeah. They use the same type of
right now.
mind control in for certain special forces teams in Iraq. They would just, whole units would report that they blacked out suddenly during a mission for several hours. And then they would return to consciousness again and find that they had murdered a Iraqi official or murdered an entire family.
Yeah,
that's crazy, dude.
I've heard stories about military application for this stuff where, they're in the Middle East or whatever. They would beam like a message from Allah into the minds of the enemy combatants to make them do something extremely stupid, and then defeat the fuck out of them.
Well, I'm always receiving messages from Allah. It's great. I love him so much.
That's good. All right.
Dude, I'm definitely being gang-stalked because right now the government is heating up my closet that is melting the chocolate in this thing. And I'm fucking... I knew it wasn't only me hot in here. The fucking chocolate's melting.
Don't lose that
You're
bar.
swole, bro.
Oh boy, got one more video to go through.
Cover up the guns.
I think this latest story has made...
And yes, I realize how fucking appalling this Milo Yiannopoulos goofball is. I get it. It's terrible.
Dude, look at the woman across from him.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Oh, the
face
FBI
informant over here.
That also talked about nuking Mecca. Yeah, I know him. I know him.
Let's see what he's got to say today.
My head spun in a way that even the initial allegations, as deeply horrifying as they were, didn't.
Today, yet another bombshell in the Harvey Weinstein saga.
An explosive new story in The New Yorker, written by Ronan Farrow, reports on just how far Weinstein went in allegedly trying to silence and intimidate not only his accusers, but the journalists working to expose his alleged sexual misconduct.
What this story pulls back the curtain on is a set of tools that I truly did not know were available to the most powerful men in this country when they are bent on stopping allegations against them.
Farrow alleges Weinstein hired elite private security agencies, one of which deployed undercover agents to befriend a number of his accusers in order to obtain personal information and then use it to discredit them should they decide to come forward.
I have been silenced for 20 years. I have been slut-shamed.
Oh, listen to her. God.
I have been harassed.
I'd love to be able to fucking be sympathetic, but that haircut ain't doing you any fucking service.
Has anyone else seen the report?
One of those women allegedly targeted by Weinstein's
Hold on.
was actress Rose McGowan.
She said it was like the movie Gaslight. She said that she was living for a year.
They're saying that Harvey Weinstein paid off people to befriend those who would testify against him, to get dirt from them, to blackmail them.
In a world of funhouse mirrors. What is so striking about this story is just how far this effort went and how elite the operatives used were.
One of those groups was Black Cube.
That is an
very strange Black Cube, and brace yourself for this next one. Don't say anything, just listen. Just listen.
Elite Israeli private intelligence agency staffed by former Mossad members in some cases. These are highly trained operatives who excel in
how this shit can get on the news and people fucking don't ask questions is just fucking beyond me.
Using false identities who construct front companies.
Nobody was smart enough to
their false identities. This went
at the time, the normies are watching this and they're like,
oh. He was directly involved. Had face-to-face contact with
but people like us, when we see this shit, we lose our fucking mind.
At multiple points over the last
year.
Because
their first thought is, oh, this is just like a
several of
movie.
the firms. These were routed through his lawyers, but Harvey Weinstein was pulling the strings.
McGowan was just one of the more than 60 women who've come forward with allegations against Weinstein, including sexual harassment, abuse, and even rape. Weinstein has denied any allegations of non-consensual sex and also denies the targeting of any individuals. In 1997, Weinstein is reported to have reached a settlement with McGowan after an alleged encounter at a hotel room. But according to Farrow, some 20 years later, just this past May, McGowan received an email.
Rose McGowan received inquiries from a woman named Diana Phillip of Rubin Capital Partners. And Diana Phillip offered her a hefty sum to speak at a women's empowerment gala, and then, over the course of many meetings, offered to invest in Rose's production company.
Farrow says the two eventually met in person at the famed Peninsula Hotel in Beverly Hills, the same site where Weinstein allegedly preyed on many women. McGowan told Farrow the woman was initially very kind, but soon began pressing her for information.
And unbeknownst to Rose, Diana Phillip was recording tens of hours of audio from those conversations and sending that information back to Harvey Weinstein, her alleged attacker. And in fact, Diana Phillip was not a real person. Diana Phillip was a false identity used by an operative for Black Cube.
According to Farrow, the deception didn't end there. He says there were additional operatives. In a contract obtained by The New Yorker and signed by Weinstein's lawyer, David Boies, Black Cube agreed to hire an investigative journalist to conduct interviews with these women.
So we'll know right now, because people are asking in the chat, yeah, Black Cube, there's a lot of occult significance. The Kaaba is the first thing that comes to mind for me when you're looking at, like, tangible, spiritual significance of the Black Cube. They also say that is the cube, or what the fuck do you call it? The six-sided star, even, that makes up the poles on Saturn. So look into that.
If we're talking about Kabbalah, which Black Cube is an Israeli organization, what they mean is the cube that's made up of the top world at the top of the chart of the Kabbalah life tree. It's an inversion.
I know Black Square is the black square, probably a cube, is important to Freemasonry. I'd like to look into that.
Yeah,
more.
it's the Cube of Saturn. It has to do with the old cult of Saturn that the Romans had, and that's the Freemasons like. They like stealing shit from other cultures, but it symbolizes total control to the point where it's almost a similar device to the all-seeing eye. And the covering for the Kaaba wasn't black until the Wahhabis took Mecca.
Yeah.
Usually it was blue.
Gotcha. All right, let's roll on with this video.
And promptly report to the client the results of such interviews by the journalist. This journalist contacted Rose McGowan, as well as Sopranos actress Annabella Sciorra, who recalled the suspicious conversation, saying to Farrow, "It scared me that Harvey was testing to see if I would talk." Just last week, Sciorra came out alleging that in the 90s, after driving her home, Weinstein forced his way into her apartment, held her down, and raped her. Several journalists were allegedly targeted by Weinstein as well, including Farrow himself, who says he was contacted by the same operative as McGowan.
What did she say to you? She was working on a women's empowerment initiative, and wouldn't I, as a male advocate for women's rights, like to be a part of it? I did not know who she was, and I did not respond.
Allegedly, operatives also tried to stop the publication of an article in New York Magazine,
which included aggressive human intelligence operations around one of the reporters at that magazine, detailed psychological profiles of the editor of that magazine, a profile of the ex-wife of the reporter that explicitly says, "We will use this as leverage if the story runs."
The idea that they are posing as journalists to try to gather negative information on the accusers crosses any ethical line.
Farrow also says he came across a document compiled by yet another firm, PS Ops. He alleges this company, acting on behalf of Weinstein, focused on uncovering his sources, as well as those of a New York Times journalist, Jodi Kantor, who was also investigating Weinstein.
Listing every possible interaction, detailing sources that both Jodi and I spoke to, who then reported back to Weinstein and detailed the questions we were asking.
PS Ops, a Los Angeles-based security firm, allegedly created detailed dossiers on various people.
In one PS Ops profile of Rose McGowan, there are exhaustive lists of negative internet posts about her. There are sections entitled Past Lovers, for instance, adverse character witnesses, people willing to...
All right, so cry me a fucking river on all this shit, but you got a little bit of like white woman syndrome happening here. If I can't say so. Nobody correct me on that. I don't care if that's incorrect.
You're
right.
right.
The thing is, yeah, it hits fucking Nightline the second some fucking pretty celebrities are gangstalked. But like, this shows the lengths that rich people are willing to go to just to ruin someone's life and what they're able to get away with.
It's money, the power of money throwing back at each other. So like, the average Joe that
they don't care about money anymore. It's about the feeling of dominance, and that's what magic is.
Well, the way they're able to flex it. But the point I was getting at was that like we saw earlier tonight, when you don't have like that kind of money to push back, like this white woman is doing on TV or whatever. This social justice lady with the pixie haircut, whatever. She has money and she's able to push back. But the dude earlier, the first guy that we saw that shot up the fucking library, that dude doesn't have no fucking money. So how's he gonna get fucking?
And these are the same things that all these people allege, Bacon Bits allege, everybody seems to in these circles, is that the people around you are fake. You don't know who's real and who's fake, who's paid off by the powers that be, and who's legitimate, and you end up just assuming that everybody is out to get you, and that is the mind fuck. And we're talking about dominance, like that total mind rape. What could be more powerful than that, other than like hunting and killing women in the forest somewhere, which they're probably also doing.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Just saying.
Oh my god. Red pill. we all been just red pilled.
I guess so. All right.
Welcome to the red pill stream.
I think that's the end of the content I have. We'll probably wrap up the stream and we can go on. We'll wrap up the recording and go on streaming a little bit. So everybody go to yakobees.com, hit that fucking merch tab, buy that shit, patreon.com/yakovalive to get into the Discord to come hang out, play video games, watch movies, all that fucking good shit. Yeah, who else? Who's here? Flame is here.
Flame Upon Herb on Twitter, Noble Raider on Instagram, and Lunatic Shaman on TikTok.
Based. Mod?
Engrim von Ergen Sternberg on Facebook. You can find me attached on Doro's friends list. Fremen Jihani on Twitter. Go to cbdx.com.
CBDX.com/Blackberry97. Get yourself the best CBD products known to man. Don't go to your local gas station like Yakov. Fucking filthy. Disgusting. Get some good shit, bro. 15% off if you use my affiliate link.
There you go.
Someone please clip this so I can send this to my guy and get paid. I haven't gotten paid in 3 weeks. I need money. Fucking broke dude.
Oh jeez.